Hey, friend, before we dive in, I wanted to say that this episode is a little short and a little different, and I actually expect it to be my most unpopular one. But no matter. There are no coaching steps, no motivational speech, just space for something we don't talk enough about: lament. In a recent therapy session, I found myself saying a whole lot of things, pouring out thoughts I didn't even realize I had been carrying. And for someone who's an avid journaler, that is saying something. I wasn't trying to be deep, I wasn't even sure what I needed. I was just tired. Tired in my body, tired in my spirit, tired of carrying all the things and being the strong one. And after listening for a while, my therapist looked at me and gently said, "That sounds like lament." And the word resonated deeply, like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Not complaining, not overthinking, just finally giving voice to the ache. It immediately took me back to a sermon my pastor preached years ago about the book of Lamentations. And yes, there's actually a book in the Bible aptly titled Lamentations, but more on that later. If this is your first time here, my name is TRE, transformational coach, your dream doula, and the host of this incredible podcast, Dream in Action. So I'll be honest, I've always had a touch of melancholy in me. I feel things deeply. I'm the girl who notices shadows even in the brightest of rooms. Years ago, I even wrote this song about this dark cloud that seemed to follow me everywhere, and how I was still and am a masterpiece in the hands of my father. This cloud reminds me of Olaf. You know Olaf from Frozen? You know, his personal snowstorm that hung above his head? Yes, that's something like that, but a lot less cute and a lot more confusing. Back then, I thought the cloud was a flaw. Like, why can't I just be bubbly and positive like everyone else? And that's not saying that I don't have a sense of humor, or I don't like to laugh, but I just felt this cloud followed me everywhere. But now I know that that is not necessarily a flaw, but a signal, a sign that something needs to be named and honored or even grieved. And that is exactly what lamenting is. It's when your soul says, this isn't how I thought it would be. And I need to say that out loud. Don't get it confused with giving up. It's not giving up. It's not even being negative. It's not being ungrateful. It's being real. And this isn't just me. In the past week, I have been fortunate to find myself holding space for so many others too. A woman overwhelmed by finances and just trying to keep her head above water. Another navigating deep heartbreak after a relationship ended. Or someone else grieving an identity shift, that quiet, creeping kind where you don't even realize how much of yourself you've lost until you're trying to reach for her again. And you know what all of them had in common? They weren't asking for answers. They just wanted to be seen, to stop pretending. They craved for space to stop pretending. Let me go back to what I said earlier. There's actually a book, an entire book in the Bible called Lamentations. It's 5 full chapters, not of praise or celebration, but of deep, guttural grief. It was written after the destruction of Jerusalem. The city had been invaded, the temple was gone, and the people were exiled. Everything familiar had crumbled. The prophet Jeremiah, who is believed to have written the book, was watching the ruins of his beloved city and was just pouring out heartbreak onto the page. The book is heavy. There are no quick wins, no tidy endings, no miracle in the final chapter that makes it all okay. Just truth. Just a raw, honest, painful cry from a man who still believed in God but couldn't pretend things were fine. Have you ever wondered why something so heavy, so dark, would sit right in the middle of a book we call holy? Why would a book filled with crying out, confusion, and deep sorrow be included in a Bible that's also full of songs, miracles, and promises? Because I think God wanted us to see that pain belongs to. That our faith doesn't have to be polished to be real. That we don't need to fast forward to the testimony. That there's value in sitting in the middle when the ending isn't clear yet. There's no silver bow at the end of Lamentations. No sudden rescue. Just truth. Just presence. And you know what that tells me? It tells me that God doesn't just tolerate our pain. He welcomes it. He holds it. He honors it. It means your weeping has a place. Your doubt has a place. Your I don't understand prayers, they're not off limits. So dear friend, if lament made it into scripture, you can stop apologizing for your honesty. You're not less spiritual because you're sad. You're not faithless because you're exhausted. Sometimes the holiest thing you can do is to tell the truth to a God who already knows. Which brings me to the matter of grace. Grace is unearned kindness that stays. It's the unconditional love, acceptance, and safety that meets you exactly where you are. No performance, no fixing required. Lamenting, like real honest lamenting, can't exist without grace. They go hand in hand. Lament without grace is just heaviness. It's despair. It's crying into a void, unsure if anyone is listening. But when grace is present, that same cry becomes sacred. It becomes safe. It becomes a doorway to healing. Grace is what holds you while you fall apart. It says, you're still loved even when you're not inspiring, even when you're not optimistic, even when you've got nothing left to give. Grace doesn't wait for you to bounce back. It doesn't ask for a quote card or a praise report or a 5-point takeaway. It just stays in the silence, in the sadness, in the snot crying and the numbness and the I can't do this today. Grace is the reason we can lament without falling into shame. Because it tells us you don't have to get your act together to be held. You don't have to tidy your grief or justify your sadness. You don't have to spin your breakdown into breakthrough before you are allowed to be seen. Grace meets you right where you are, not where you think you should be, not at the finish line, but at the pit stop. And it sits with you, listens, waits, doesn't rush you to fix it, doesn't call you weak for feeling it. And honestly, that kind of grace is radical, especially in a world that keeps pushing productivity over presence, that says you're only as valuable as what you produce. But grace says you're already valuable, even now, even here, especially here. So maybe that's your invitation today, my friend. Not to hustle, not to fix it, not to slap on a quote on it and call it healing. Just to sit, to breathe, to name what hurts. To say things like, I thought I'd be farther along by now. I miss the version of me who used to laugh without overthinking everything. Or, I don't even recognize my own life sometimes, and that scares me. Or, I've done affirmations, the mindset shifts, the vision boards, and I'm still tired. I'm grateful, yes, but I'm also grieving, and I don't know where to put that. Maybe no one's ever given you the permission to say those things out loud, to admit that parts of your story haven't turned out the way you hoped. But let me say it now, plainly, with love, my friend. You can feel all that and still have hope. You can name what hurts without abandoning what's still possible. You can mourn the version of you that's gone while still making space for what you're becoming. Lamenting doesn't cancel your dream. Sometimes it's what clears the fog so you can see the dream again, clearly, tenderly, and maybe even differently. And I don't know who that was for, and I don't know how that is landing, but I pray and hope that you receive it with the love that it was shared and given.
Hey dreamer, quick pause. If this episode is stirring something in you, but you're not sure how to start, I've got you. Grab my free dream activation kit. It's your first bold step out of confusion and into clarity. Inside, you'll get the Spark session, a guided audio to help you reconnect with what you really want, my dream discovery workbook to map it all out, and Dream Speak, a short affirmation track to boost your belief again. This isn't fluff, my friend. It is fuel, and it is completely free. DM me the word dream on Instagram at HeyTiari or head to the link in the show notes. All right, back to the episode.
Now, before I sign off, I want you to know that this is the last new episode of the Dream in Action podcast before I take a summer breather. Every Thursday in August, and you know Dream in Action lands every Thursday. Every Thursday in August, I'll be sharing some handpicked reruns of the podcast, just the audio versions, so you can press play on the go. There'll be some of my favorite personal favorites, and I hope they meet you right where you are. And then we'll be back in September with fresh new episodes, new energy, and definitely more truth, more inspiration to take you from dreaming to action. Now, before we round up, let me leave you with the quote of the week. It is by yours truly, an original by Tiari. Lament is the sound faith makes when it is sitting in the dark. So don't be afraid of the darkness, my friend. Sometimes that's exactly where your honesty, your healing, and your next spark starts. That's where the light that you carry could begin to shine. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep daring, and keep moving towards your spark. See you in September.
And that's it for today's episode of Dream in Action. I hope this conversation stirred something in you, maybe a fresh idea, a little more clarity, or just a reminder that your dreams are valid and worth pursuing. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new one. And if you're feeling generous, leaving a review helps people find this podcast. It's like telling the algorithm, hey, this is worth listening to. So if this spoke to you today, and you don't even do any of the other two, please share it with a friend or two. Before we go, let me leave you with one of my favorite Bible verses of all time. Never doubt God's mighty power to work in you and accomplish all this. He will achieve infinitely more than your greatest request, your most unbelievable dream, and exceed your wildest imagination. He will outdo them all, for his miraculous power constantly energizes you. Ephesians 3:20. Until next time, dream wildly, live boldly, and keep going.